Yo, DC, what's happening?
Hello.
Thank you, DC, what's happening? Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday with Live from the Corner. I am Breezy Taylor, along with Radio Lisa Red.
Hey.
And as you can tell, this is not AI. But our hearts and prayers do go out to AI. He had a passing of a good friend of his, so we wish him best of luck and everything. But he will be back with us on Tuesday. And as you can tell, we do have somebody not AI. If you come to Listen Vision on Tuesdays, some Fridays, this man is a fixture. This man is not a stranger to Listen Vision. And if you all watch the camera and the video on Tuesdays, you've probably seen him a time or two. We are joined by Capital Skunk, Rodrigo. What's up, man?
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Appreciate
man, it's all good. Now, in that vein, we definitely want to give a shout out to all our vendors here on Tasty Tuesdays. Of course, we got ladies to capture them.
Woo!
We got Kendall Bus
Woo!
in the house.
Beep.
Of course, we got Capital Skunk. You know what I'm saying?
Right here.
And you have to excuse my memory. And then we got Eddie, Stu.
Woo!
Yeah, so make sure you come out here every Tuesday and every Friday. Tuesday 12 to 10, Friday 12 to 8. Every Tuesday, every Friday. Now, this show's gonna go a little different. Decided to kind of throw a tradition to the wind for this show. I thought it'd be cool to, further promote Tasty Tuesdays, as well as, highlight one of our vendors. And if it's okay with our vendors in here, we might want to highlight a vendor each Tuesday. Is that okay? That's all right?
We
That's
can't
all right?
hear you.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So of course we are joined with Capital Skunk. Like I say, he's here every Tuesday. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having me. I'm about to eat some of these infused cookies that I have. They're vegan cookies. They're really good.
Such a market.
My neighbor actually made them with vegan, ingredients. So, thank you.
So that's the kind of stuff that you can get here on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Tasty Tuesdays, Fire Fridays. So, I just wanted to ask somebody that's in the industry with pop-up events. I-71. How does that benefit or hurt some of that is in the cannabis industry? DC has had a lot of shutdowns this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Breaking up parties and pop-up events and everything. So, is there a way to find another loophole inside the loophole?
Man, you got me choking. I'm sorry. Man, honestly, there's a lot of things that need to be done, and the way that you kind of have to do it is you really have to do private events. That's really the only way that you're gonna be able to get away with having even a flyer that has your event name out in the public. You really need to be completely compliant with the social ban that they have. So if you're gonna have a business that's out there, you have to change it up. You have to just think about how you can be the most compliant, and the best way to do that is to go completely private and only do it to a certain group. Make sure that you keep your group small, and once you build up your own customer base, you don't really have to worry about new people, and then you're just taking care of yourself.
For those that are outside of DC, don't know what the I-71 is. That's basically a loophole in DC's ass backwards law, where recreational uses of marijuana is legal, but it's illegal to sell.
But right.
But you can gift.
You
can gift. So I was in California, in LA, a couple weeks ago, and went to a medicinal as well as recreational shop. And was explaining to them, that's like, that doesn't make sense. How can you have one without the other?
Mm-hmm. Well, when the money's involved, there are always loopholes. Like I said, like I always say, the government is going to get their cut regardless, and they can't allow you to sell when they have so many people behind bars who've been locked up for selling. And so they're going to find a way to get over it, so they won't have to apologize for all the things that have happened over the years. So it's a lot with that, and it's wrong either way.
So how long have you been in the cannabis industry? How did you get started?
I think I was in high school.
Of course.
Like most people.
It just kind of happened. I think it just kind of happened where I smoked weed and I wanted to have more weed so I could smoke more weed.
Oh my God.
And then, you know, my friends started smoking weed, and I just happened to have weed, so I used to gift them weed too, you know. And
He's
then
old enough
all
to
of a
tell
sudden,
himself now.
All of a sudden, it just kind of, you know, I just kind of kept on doing it throughout college, and just it was something that was always in my life. I was always self-medicating, you know. It's always been there for me. You know, it really helps me, and you know, I understand why other people like it too.
Do you have to be licensed or anything? I'm sure there's some insurance involved, but do you have to file anything with the
I mean, I
agency?
have like a business license, but that's it.
That's all you need?
Yeah.
So if anybody want to get in the industry, they can pretty much hop in. No,
I mean, you just have to figure out how the law works and how you can work with the law.
Yeah, please know the law.
You really got to read the law and really
Very
understand
important.
it. You can't just, you know, just be like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, have this bunch of weed that I have and I need to get rid of it. I mean, you know, for all means of the matter, you know, start growing your own weed in DC if you can. Come see us. We have seeds available for you if you want to start growing. We have consultations for you. I work at one of the hydro stores here, and if you really need all the equipment, we got all the equipment you need too. We also have classes to teach you how to grow and about how to process your own marijuana, how to, you know, medicinally proportion your servings so that you're taking what you need and you're not going over that. So Elevated Roots Academy is really taking a hold here, and we're doing classes really cheap for anybody. Anybody can come and take a class. You know, it's $10 for a class, and you can learn about a specific property of marijuana. Like if you want to learn how to grow, you can pay $10 for the growing class on Saturday. And let's say you want to become a student. I think it's only $60 to become a student, and you get 9 weeks worth of education about marijuana. And you go to all the classes. You go to the processing class, the growing class, and we also have an entrepreneurial class which teaches you about the law and how to use the law and how the law can work for you, and also how to go towards the government so that we can actually change the laws too, because that's part of being involved in this industry. It's also being part of the community and, you know, kind of being a small activist towards change.
You remember the CEO or the former CEO of Men's Warehouse?
Oh.
He was when I was in the
Oh,
commercials
yeah.
You like how you love how you like I guarantee it?
Yeah.
Well, I read an interview he did. He's been sober from alcohol for about 27 odd years. And he said that marijuana helps him get off it. And he is a huge proponent. He's a huge activist. And of course he has money, so he donates millions of dollars.
Man, we gotta hit him up.
Maybe he can sponsor someone
Get his
here.
help here in DC because, you know, there's a lot of civil liberties that are being broken here in DC with some of the laws that are getting passed. There's some laws that, you know, like the new sound ordinance law.
Yeah,
That's
they
being
just
passed,
what they did is they're gonna let it go for the summer and gonna come back in the fall. But you know they're gonna come back fighting harder in the fall. But we have a teeny bit of leeway for the rest of the summer.
But all that says is it passed. Just wait. Figure something out.
Or it didn't, but we're gonna add a little bit more so it can pass. It's wrong either way. This is the nation's capital, and we're known for go-go. How can you tell us to be quiet? We're known for noise and community events and different things like that. How can you tell us to be quiet? Look, anyway.
It's those new buildings, you know. I used to live in one of those buildings when I was younger, and I could hear everything that happened. And, you know, like, you know, the builders who built those buildings built a townhome that I lived in. And I could hear everything in that townhome, and it's crazy that
they don't take the time and do what they're supposed to.
And we live in a swamp. It doesn't make sense why they would build these small little, you know, square like boxes, you know, cardboard, plaster, and wood. That's pretty much all that it is.
You know, because of the swamp that we built on, I think DC is second only to Texas in the sheer number of mosquitoes.
Oh man.
So that's the question. So
Just
now
thinking about that, I'm like itching. There's no
Already?
mosquitoes around here.
it could be. So let me ask a question. So now that recreational has been passed in Maryland, is that correct? Or that's just
No, that was medical. That was medical.
How do you think
okay.
I-71 inside DC? How do you think that's going to affect or be affected?
I think it did affect it. There's a lot of patients in Maryland who rather come to DC because they have a lot more options than they do in Maryland, and that's unfortunate because Maryland has the chance to make a difference here in the DMV, and they're really not doing it right. They're going for the money. They're trying to make
a money grab.
They're trying to make that extra dollar by using pesticides that have been banned in California. They know they've been banned in California. And then they're trying to use them here. It's like, oh, we're so fresh, we won't know. And then people are getting sick. And you have people throwing up from pesticides, and it creates.
They want to blame it on the weed.
And then it creates a bad stigma on cannabis, being that it's so new and it's getting on the news. And now, we have reports of people who have been sick because they smoked marijuana.
That's
and
plot.
It's supposed to be medicine for you. So it's
not
just
make
like,
you sick.
This is not the way
plot.
things are supposed to be. Maryland needs to pass better regulations for pesticides. They need to move to more organic growing and really push for that. Really get away from the pesticides, move towards using other pest management solutions.
Do you really need, if you're like in a greenhouse or you have your own, do you really need pesticides? Should you be? I know bugs are everywhere, but
you do need pesticides, but
is there another form of
like
pest control other than
baking soda and water be a
chemical
good one or something?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
you can use predatory pests that will eat the bad pest. So you have you actually have lizards that you can have in your greenhouse. You can also have what are they? Ladybugs are supposed to be really good to take away mites, and then you can also do some natural pesticides that use enzymes to break down the skin of the bugs.
Okay. And
those enzymes will take care of the pest. And then there's also like other ways to manage it with this is a really hard word for me to say, but it's diacetamous earth or dichotomous earth. I don't know, but you can use that, and that you just put that on the surface of the pots, and that will cut up any bad insects, and it actually won't hurt the microbiology of the soil, and it won't hurt the worms. The worms will actually eat it, and it's also a source of calcium for them. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do.
It's funny you mentioned that the rapper Exhibit, he's actually being sued for, I'm not sure if his name is on it. He's affiliated with a strand that was recently found out to have pesticides in it. So, if you're gonna have your name or something, you're gonna put something. Make sure that's something
that's really involved.
Yeah. Make sure make sure it's natural as possible.
Anything that can be ingested or smoked you should really pay close attention to it.
So I tell you,
it's all about money.
So I tell you, I'm from Denver. Colorado and Washington State being the first two states to legalize it. With the surrounding states, Nebraska to the northeast, Wyoming to the north, Utah is to the west, and in New Mexico is southwest. They had to pass laws in all four of those states, all five of those states I just mentioned, that while yes, it is legal in Colorado, you cannot drive to Nebraska, buy something in Colorado, bring it back to Nebraska. I mean, you can, but you get arrested for it.
Yeah.
And so people think just because you live near the border of a state that is legal, it's not legal in the state that you live.
Wow.
Yeah, but recently, CBD's being legalized in a lot of states. States that you wouldn't even think have been,
Well, that's the
cannabis
medical
laws.
side of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like, I think that you still need THC for it to be fully medical. You still need more than that 0.03%. I think you need like 3% because it all works together as an entourage effect. So you need all of those cannabinoids, and you need all of that THC. It's all about the whole system working together.
That would be like the painkiller. The THC would be like more like a painkiller because of the.
Well, I don't really know that deep into like the medical part of it. I just know that you need all of it because it works better together.
Hey, look here. Hey, look here. Live from the Corner is your one-stop shop for everything medicinal. We got your needs. We got what you need, information you need, how to grow, when to grow, and what to grow right here. So let me ask you a question, right? So with more and more states legalizing it, look at sports. Every violent sport, non-violent sport, people self-medicate.
Yeah.
You know, and each sport has a list of banned substances. You know, but Tylenol, Advil is not on, whereas marijuana is.
Yeah. Neither is alcohol though. They can drink alcohol.
Right. They can drink alcohol until they pass out. So you know, of the 50 states, the NFL, other 32 teams, they have 8 teams in states where it's legalized.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel bad for those players because the team probably tells them that they can't smoke, you know. But it's really up to the team if they want to test them, because you know the league actually probably wants to test them too. Like because wasn't there that one player, Rick from the Dolphins,
Ricky Williams,
yeah.
who actually opened up his own holistic shop, and he said like he's a huge proponent of that.
I really like his brand. I saw some video from his
Ricky
brand.
Williams. If you watching, shout out to him.
Hey.
Yeah, come say what's up to DC. We're fans.
Yeah. But so I'm saying is like how can you fathom where you know Cat Williams made a joke. You know, if you take 13 Tylenols, that's be the last Tylenol you ever take, right? So something that could potentially kill you. How can you, as someone that's in the community, fathom that something that is made especially to make you feel good and to make you feel good medically is not in favor of something that can kill you?
I mean, because of the pesticides, you know, because let's say this is what happens, man. Like you got this big crop, it's your first time growing too, because like a lot of these Maryland dispensaries hadn't really grown at that large scale before. Like maybe they hired somebody who did, but you know, like a lot of the times things can go wrong without you being able to catch it until it's too late. So then you got, you know, like a big crop, and you got all this money that could go for nothing, you know, like that you can't sell. So what do? You spray pesticides and hope for the best, and that's, you know, sometimes that's what happens with these growers. That's probably what happened here, because you know, they wanted to make their money and not lose all that money. Because if you lose a crop, that's pretty much like you're gonna lose.
That's a hit.
You're gonna lose, and you know what? I bet you that losing the crop was going to be more expensive than getting sued. You know, like it's possible that if they get sued, like they'll get like a fine, and then they'll just have to change their grow operation, and they'll be scrutinized a little bit for the next couple years, you know, but they'll still be in business. But if they would have lost this crop, they probably wouldn't be in business anymore. So, you know, at the end of the day, they have to do their business moves, but you know, hopefully, you know, things change, because you know they need to. You know, you can't be hurting medical patients. You can't be hurting anybody with something that's supposed to be medicine. You know, this is not like the pharmaceutical industry. We don't want to.
How do you feel about? Is it Bosch Alarm that are getting into the marijuana business?
Oh,
Or is it Johnson Johnson?
There's one of those. It's one of the other ones.
It's Bayer, I think.
Bayer, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, they're just going to where the money is.
Yeah, they're hopping on the
train. It's going to be a huge hike on prices, though.
Yeah, like you know. I mean,
but will it be the
man.
same?
I don't know,
it's more about the dollar bill. It's not about.
I don't know how it'll be, because I feel like once they get involved, it'll just be a whole different ballpark. Like we won't even know how it happens once it happens. We'll be so shocked. Maybe we'll start seeing like cigarettes that look like weed or something. I don't even know, man. Because
studio audience can always talk.
That's been going on. My son's about to be 16. That's been going on about 14 years.
Right.
But they're not thinking about that. They just want to smoke.
I have this feeling, and I compare, you know, Bayer, because Bayer won't be the last. I compare Bayer to what's happening with, like, if you look at the cellular phone companies right now, it's 4 major companies, but when T-Mobile and Sprint, you know, merge, it's only going to be 3. So now you can have 3, you know, cellular phone services in the world that can at any point hike the prices. And I feel like with Bayer being the first, Tylenol, Bosch Alarm going to come next. I read a story that some years ago that
you know, in Israel, they're huge with the pharmaceuticals and cannabis. They like have a bunch of labs. Yeah, they're all about that stuff. Yeah. So I bet you we'll see Bayer go into that country.
Oh yeah,
and
just
buy
again,
them.
figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
they're going to
just
steal
start-
the ideas,
Just start buying
get
things.
all the
They'll
information,
start
and
buying
bring it over
things.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope not. I hope not. I hope that the laws.
You know,
that,
when big big companies get in, like look at the evolution of music. You know, Tower Records have went out of business a long time ago because of other things. So
Amazon, yeah.
Amazon, and which is closing a lot of retail stores as is.
Yeah.
You know. So next question. I'm a little biased coming from the West. You know, being from Denver, I have lived in Los Angeles as well. Living on the East Coast, where do you get your products from? Because I tend to think the best product is from Colorado and California.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get it locally from DC. I don't really ask where they get it from either. You know, they just give it to me, and it's just it's just my. And then I grow a lot too, but the stuff that I grow is just gifted instantly because it's just so nice, and like I take such good care of it. So it's just I don't even want to give it away because it's so nice. It's just like I want to keep all this.
So, is there a strand that you don't sell that you wish you could?
Oh man, I just a lot of those hype strains like the wedding cake and like the Skittles and the Mac One. Those are all things that I want to get my hands on, but I haven't seen those clones.
Between rappers and weed, I don't know who has the craziest nicknames. Huh?
Yeah, Skittles is a great name, like or Mac One, great name.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how do they get named? Did you go by the color?
Oh,
the taste,
so I
the
think
smell?
it has to do a lot with like the lineage. So like if a parent is called like Mac, and then like let's say like the other parent is like a blue cheese, you can call it like mac and cheese,
Okay, so you cross them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally that
Well, you
easy.
grew- okay.
But like it depends if your name's cool. If it's not, then you got to think of a new name, I guess, or just yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back from the break, we're gonna give Rodrigo's opinions on some of our topics that we got going on this week. Be right back, couple minutes, live from the corner. All right, we are back, and we will definitely get the energy up. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, as you can tell, our brother AI is not here with us. We definitely, our hearts and prayers go out to him. You know what I'm saying? But we are joined with Capital Skunks, Rodrigo. You know what I'm saying? A main fixture here every Tuesday and some Fridays. Listen Vision. Now, we're going to get into topics. Definitely want to get your opinion on some of the topics. So you remember beginning of the year how the sex robots were all the rave? Well, now one of them has an annoying ass update, particularly if you are a man. You know, the whole reason why you bought the sex robot is why you may not like this update. The inventor's wife, of course, it was a woman's idea.
Okay, Breeze.
Come on, Breeze. Let's go ahead, play that video.
Breeze.
Okay, I'm sorry, there's no video. So what happens is, with Samantha, the sex robot, the owner of his wife probably nagged the hell out of him and updated with a say no function. So the sex robot you spent 15 G's on to have sex with is now able to tell you no because of a damn system update.
She's able to
a
say
sex robot
but look,
that you paid $15,000 for at the owner's wife's nagging now has an update where the sex robot can say no if she feels that you're being too aggressive or if you are being too boring. No lie. Right. No. So if it feels like if it feels like it's not being treated properly, it can shut down on you.
Or if you do not woo her enough, if you don't get her in the mood enough, she will not.
How do you woo a robot?
If you don't warm that,
you might as well stick to us.
Plug her into the electricity real slowly.
You know what?
So this new update is called, guess what? The dummy mode.
Oh, really?
It's called the dummy mode. Like I said, if you're being too aggressive, or like Red said, if you are trying to rush, if you don't warm that oven up hot enough, it can shut down you. So you spend 15 G's to not hear the word no. Now you're going to hear the word no because of the damn update. What you got to say about that?
So you think there's any, husbands who bought this because their wife wasn't putting out and they were trying to save their marriage? And then now they're getting a no from the robot too? You ever thought about that? Oh man, I wonder if the wife's pissed now too, because now she's also have to hear about like the robot who's saying no, so he's asking her for sex now too.
Like, look, you have to go have a conversation in the closet.
Right, so...
You gotta go in the closet. Hey, look, come on. I don't feel like it today. Come on, girl. Good God.
Now the robot and the wife are a team, and they're working against him. Poor guy. Spent $15,000 to give the wife a team.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That means you need to work on yourself. You need to work on yourself. That's crazy.
You know, so if you're not good at talking to women, that's why you get that. Now the one woman you can get is telling your ass no.
Oh man, and you paid 15 G's for her.
That's like paying a hooker 15 G's to be told no.
I think that's a kink. I think that actually exists.
That's escort service.
So when we were talking about the pesticides and foreign things, nice segue, huh? And pesticides and foreign things in the marijuana, right? Burger King basically did the same difference. Everybody pretty much knew if it was a Burger King or somebody else. Folks suspected that some fast food chains were selling animals, particularly horses, and Burger King just now admitted that they are selling horse meat. Yeah, and we got a video of that too.
For the past month, Burger King in the UK and Ireland have been denying the claims that there is horse meat in their food products. For a while it seemed like it was an unfounded claim, until just recently when Burger King admitted that it was all true. The fast food chain has issued an apology to its customers after announcing that the initial tests they did on their food that made them deny the presence of horse meat were incorrect. They pointed the blame at Silvercrest, a processing company in Ireland that has also come under fire for...
So if you've been living in Ireland and London, you have been eating Mr. Ed.
Man.
You don't think anything came over here? I'm sure.
Oh, man, it's over here. But now I'm thinking, so now that women, are buying, have been buying horses here, now we're buying meat.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
That's what they say. The horse is just out. It's just
you know what I'm saying? That yak
it's
y'all buying.
And it has
that's Black Beauty's here y'all buying.
I need a dab after that. That was too much. Wow.
You never know what we're eating. You never know.
If I'm gonna eat horse, I want to know I'm gonna eat horse. You know, like I've been in South America, and I know I'm eating horse because that's like there's no way that. There? Well, I mean, like I know I'm eating horse because I asked them. I'm just like, "Where's this meat from?" And they're like, "Oh, it's beef." And I'm just like, "Right, beef." I'm paying $1 for like 3 steaks of beef. All right. It's red meat. All right, cool.
So you said that's a domestic question, right? So everybody, the joke has been for years and years and years that the China H, the China cafes, the curry outs, I've been serving dog food, right?
And cats.
Well, I mean, not dog food, but dog meat and cats.
And cats.
So if that is the case, and you've been eating it for 30 years, are you gonna stop?
What, eating them?
Like if that is the case, and you've been eating it for 25 years, are you now gonna stop eating that?
Hell no. There's actually a place in New York where I don't know what they were, but an Asian community petitioned for that thing as part of their religious whatever practice, and they were allowed to actually cook dog food.
Man, look, I tell you, if you cook anything right, you'll eat it.
Wait. So there's no way.
If you don't know and it's cooked right, you'll eat it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said.
I mean,
so now you're gonna stop
eating all this time.
Now you're gonna stop eating
Never
cat
know.
that you just had on Tuesday. I don't mean cat. I mean cat.
I've had cuy. I've had cuy in Colombia, which is kind of like a rat. So
you know what I'm saying? All
cat is not created equal. Oh man. That one doesn't walk on 4 legs.
So recently, an AAU team in Chicago, which was playing in a particular tournament's final, got to what we start saying in the West, squabble. Start squabbling with the referees, beat referees down over a particular bad call. And we got to get that too. Play that. You know what?
Because she walked in front of the camera, that's why.
I play sports. I play basketball. It's been hell times I've wanted to swing on a ref for a bad call, but never did.
Yo, that ref was getting it.
Now, mind you, there's another video that's like 2 minutes long. Like this was a whole like.
There's a couple of videos circulating. Yeah.
So, we got angles, huh?
Yeah, this is a whole brawl. And so what happened was, at Chicago's team, of course it would be Chicago, right? You know, what happened was, you see when the referee was already on the ground. So supposedly the coach of a particular team said that his players had not started. He said what happened, one of his players had took issue with a call or a non-call with one of the refs. And told the ref about it. The ref's like, get out of my face. And then go back down in court. You just keep, woofing at the ref about this particular call. The coach then says, the ref is cussing in their mind. These are kids. And the rest of them grown-ass men. And curses him out and pushes him in front of his bench. You don't ever push a player in front of their bench. You don't ever do that. So just last week, there was the men's international 19 under, two, I forgot what countries, got into a massive brawl too. So this is kind of reminiscent of what they call the Malice at the Palace some years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was pretty funny that they was knocking the refs in there like some ragdoll shit.
Yeah, they were. They were all over the floor. But it's like, and one of them ended up coming out of their clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
From nowhere,
he had on a shirt, stripe went down, came up with nothing. He was hot. The funny thing is, the name of the two teams were the Titans and the Eagles.
Well, there you
The
go.
Eagles until last year.
2 football teams.
You know,
Right.
but Indiana Titans and the Indy Eagles. It was, that's funny though.
So, with today's current political climate, racism is being aborded. Racists are being aborded. I mean, even if you're not racist, you probably saying some things about race that you probably hadn't said years ago, or that you don't say outside of your own home. Well, there is a person living in Denver, my hometown. My name is Sarah Arroyo, who is Indian. She is a former Wall Street lawyer. She is my spirit animal, if there is such thing as a person being a spirit animal. And I'm telling you why I say that. So she ran off against Democrats. So she's anti-Democrat, anti-Republican. She's anti-racism. Like, she's called white folks out on the racist white people, on all that shit in both parties. So recently, she shared, she shared a article, and the title was called "Are You Done with White People?"
Are you what?
Done with white people.
With white people.
Are you done with white people?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No. So should I give up on white people? It was an editorial ran by Emory University professor George Yancey titled "Should I Give Up on White People?" So she not only she retweeted, she actually said
Yes.
yes.
And that's it. She said, yeah. Basically, yeah.
Now, how many times have you ever said you want to give up on somebody you work with? How many times you want to say the fact that you can even say that in today's political climate is funny as hell. Just last week we had Maxine Waters talking about the racists that want to shoot me. You better shoot straight. Now someone's actually said they haven't given up on white people.
Hey, man.
It's like, I mean,
sometimes you just gotta, you take the best advice you can.
No, I'm trying to picture what was in the initial article that she retweeted and said yes, because that's not like it was in subtitles. I'm not tired of racist white people. Should I give up on white people? Period.
Just white people. I mean, I guess that has to do a lot with her interactions with white people. Like if her interactions are all like negative, then of course she's gonna have that. Yeah.
well, there are different. Okay, I work in the medical field, and there are different cultures and different nationalities of people, and they put them under the label as white, and they're not white. So it's
some Latinos. Huh?
Yeah, but it's like, okay, at work, if someone comes in and say they're from Ukraine, technically they're Ukrainian, but because in America, if you're not Black, African American, Indian, Pacific Islander, you're white. So it may not be a specific person, American white. It could be just labeled white, and then it's a lot under that. So I'm sorry, I just went a little bit too deep into that. But
yeah,
it's a lot into it.
I'm Latino, but whenever they ask me, it's like there's like some weird actions. It's like what's your race and like what's your ethnicity, and one of them is Latino, but then it's like I'm white as well because my skin is white, but my sister has to say something else, but because her skin is a little bit darker than mine, so it's just like, where does this actually?
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people go by what you look.
Who defined this, and why am I living by your definition?
Our forefathers the forefathers of the United States of these here Americas defined that.
I don't even think it was them. I think there was like some law in like the 1950s or something that was like, oh, we have to do this because of the census, because we want to know who's living here.
But you look more like
this was undocumented though.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of that was going on before the documentation started.
Rodrigo, you look like a light khaki to me more than white.
Yeah. That's because I've been out in the sun. You should see me. In December, I am so pale. It is sad. I'm like, but no, luckily I get some sun, and it's kind of pale-ish, olive-ish.
Pale-ish. He's tannish.
So when a loved one passes away, there are a myriad of ways to remember that person. There's a plethora of ways to remember that person to, utilize. Not utilize, that's not the word. Utilize.
Idolize.
Euthanize.
Euthanize.
We ain't trying to kill him. That's already dead. Remember, motherfucker. How about that? Okay, so anyway. In the case of
Put him to rest.
Renard Matthews out of New Orleans, and we got a picture of that. This young gentleman from New Orleans, who actually is a innocent victim of a murder, June 25th. As you can tell, he is a Celtics fan. You see, he got some Kyrie jersey on. He has socks on. Yeah, he's dressed. That person is dead.
Yeah, so
His family had him embalmed, and because he's such a 2K and Celtics and Kyrie Irving fan, they had him dressed up in their house, by the way, not a house, but their house, dressed up in the neckgear, as you saw, playing 2K with who I don't know, because I ain't playing 2K with a dead person. That just made no ass backwards.
And I think they double or triple embalmed him just so he could
sit up.
Yeah, and to be in that position.
That's crazy.
And he was young, and I'm so sorry that happened.
I mean,
and I guess that's their way of coping with losing their child, But that's
yeah. I get that. That shit's crazy. Look, I don't want to walk in and see a dead person playing 2K. That shit would freak me out.
Could you imagine being a guest though? Are they warning people, the guests? Are they like, all right, so we got to tell you
that right? You
that
walking in
when you come in,
God,
he's actually dead. He's not like you used to see him just playing 2K all the time. He's not.
That's like really that will send other people to the grave. You walk
right? Like, could you imagine if Grandma
crazy,
walks in and she thinks he's dead, and all of a sudden he's playing
the game.
2K,
and she fall dead,
and
right,
she falls
so now
dead.
you gotta go plan another one.
That is just,
let her lay down.
Look,
let her lay
poor
down.
Grandma.
I mean, you know what? I don't want to knock somebody's judgment, somebody's choice, but of all the things to do, that was the number one thing. Like, you just, I say, you know what? Let's have him still play one more game before he goes up to the
Well, you
upper
know,
room.
some year over the past couple of years, I forgot what funeral home it is, but they've had where a man was on his motorcycle. They had when he was in a Corvette. It was one with the older lady sitting at the table playing cards with a cigarette and a beer in her hand. So they've been really,
these are all like the same type of like thing. They need to have one of poker player teams. Like could you imagine like he always went to the poker game, so I want to involve him. And then like each wife is just like, I want to do the same thing to
my gosh.
Oh, that would be so funny.
That's some Weekend at Bernie shit right there.
Yeah, right.
For those of that age that know Weekends at Bernie, that's some Weekends at Bernie shit.
Yeah, but what did
right
he
there,
end up being alive though?
Who?
Bernie. Didn't he at the third movie? Was it the second or the third movie?
Oh,
he ended up not being dead.
I didn't even. I just watched the first one. I didn't even know there was a second one.
I think there is a second.
I tell you what, I remember Bernie Daddy got so much ass in their first movie though. Right?
Bernie was a player. Bernie was a player
even in the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? You can't change a player's game in the ninth inning or death, I guess.
Can't put his spark out.
So look, I already told people. I already told folks when I die, do not put my face in a picture. That shit is cheesy. Do not put my picture. Dance don't have me embalmed in no Chuck Taylors and no khakis on.
Man,
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that shit.
You can wear your Chuck.
You won't have a say in it.
Have you standing like you crip walking?
Have me to see walking. With a stick in my back so I stand up straight.
Like
right?
this. You gonna be standing like this?
My dad would stick in my back so I can sit up proper with my feet twisted to the side. With a blood in my mouth, right? I'm coming back there. I'm killing all y'all for that.
Oh my gosh!
Don't do that shit for real. You look. This is a audio wheel. Don't do that shit. I'm sitting here right now. Don't do that shit right now.
If you do it though, make sure you tag him correctly on Instagram. All right.
So 50 Cent found himself in the middle of guess what? Yet another beef. This time with Papoose with Remy Ma. The picture of Remy Ma. Recently, where you can tell she's looking a little slimmer, but the twins are still there, but she look a little slimmer. And you said at the bottom, 50 Cent said, "Damn, Remy, you lost mad weight. Hey, Slim." Right.
Damn, that picture is like, whoa.
Right. So Papoose took offense to that. Now, granted, you don't want nobody like that they're oogling your woman, but she lost weight. Somebody's gonna notice. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that is just
He said,
low confidence in your relationship.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I don't,
like
to me,
know,
I didn't find any. I
you know
didn't
what?
find anything in that.
Now, the beef is so when Papoose caught wind of it, he made a tweet of his own. Put that tweet up. Damn, Daphne Jordan, that's his baby moms, 50 Cent's baby moms. No winner yet. If at 50 Cent doesn't marry you, I'll introduce you to my homeboy. He's more mature.
Oh,
That's
right.
more
It really is.
That just sounds like some spiteful, resentful.
Exactly. He's
like
oh,
not
okay, you want to look at my
necessary,
woman?
like extremely extra work. Like he had to go out of his way to tag somebody else to involve in his little dilemma with his,
Which
it
was really nothing there.
Like 50
I don't
Cent
think
is
it was
just saying,
nothing.
Now,
hey,
what wasn't
you look
pictured?
great, and
What wasn't pictured? See, 50 has a saying. They say, "Get the strap." If someone disrespects you, get the strap. Just a saying, not actually take it, get the gun. Just a saying. Well, after Papoose made the same tweet, he hashtag "Get the strap on."
oh what?
Oh,
what? Papoose is bored. I haven't heard a song from him in a minute, so
Right. So 50 Cent has a saying. He hashtags "Get the strap." You know what I'm saying? Someone disrespects you, get the strap. Just a saying. And so Papoose took a play on words because they're beefing, saying "Get the strap on."
well, I guess His Majesty
No,
ain't
but
working.
you know what? Because I think the reason why Papoose was taking as much offense is because it's 50 Cent. And it's not just some regular old dude. It's 50 Cent, who's known for.
Okay, but look at what he said though. The words are important. He didn't. Well,
Now, I'm trying to picture if you are a rapper, would you want 50 Cent complimenting your wife?
I mean,
His Majesty ain't all
Does it
that.
matter?
No, I guess.
personally,
Vivica
personally,
had that,
it's just like she's posting it to get comments and get likes. So you got to understand that that's gonna happen.
You're gonna get a comment and a like.
It's a public medium. I mean, you can't take it as an offense against you when your wife is doing this. It's what she wants. This is her career that she's working with. You're actually working against her by doing that because it's just bad vibes.
And so 50 then blocks Remy Ma, who hasn't said anything. It's like until your husband acts like I think it says his age not a shoe size, I'm gonna block you.
Wow.
I mean that's
And she's
smart
probably
though,
like,
because
what
he
the heck?
doesn't need people to act childish around him, because that honestly is.
Well, 50 right now, like I said, when I say another beef, which what is new means that it ends with a Y, right? He made a joke about Me Too, not that long ago, and there is a petition that was sent to stars with enough. I think it reached 33,000 signatures to have him removed from stars.
Wow.
Who
50
Cent.
Cent.
To have to show power
Right.
and him cut ties.
Wow.
Stars cut ties with him because of he made a Me Too joke, and this petition has gained 33,000 signatures and more to stars.
I don't know the joke, but Power is a great show. Like I don't know what he was saying, but that is a great show. So yeah, that show's staying. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and do your apology,
Yeah.
50.
Yeah, I mean,
People like apologies.
do that apology. Be humble about it, and they'll
And
understand.
that's funny because I didn't even hear about that.
I never heard about it either.
The Me Too comment.
I've been plugged into that movement for a minute, and I didn't hear anything
You know what?
about
The
that.
the comment itself, I read it. It wasn't. I'm not gonna tell anybody how to feel. First of all,
Yeah.
just from me reading it, it's not too offensive, but it's more taking make a joke of the Me Too.
Oh,
okay.
So it's not like he said any one thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Moving on. I never thought all cities in the same sentence. What's happening?
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to find him.
Oh. I never thought I'd say these two words in the same sentence. Crips and Drake.
What?
That's right, Crips
Oh.
on the left side,
Oh.
Blue Wall and Drake have teamed up. Not literally, but what happened is, for those that know, Drake has a song called "All in My Feelings," in which he did a dance
I
called
haven't seen
"In My
this.
Feelings."
Oh, you haven't?
The Shiggy, and somehow with it being
Are we gonna
internet,
end it by doing the
it has
Shiggy?
been turned into a challenge. I don't know who can win, what's the prize to win, but it's coming a challenge where stars, everyday people have been doing this damn God-forsaken Drake's In My Feelings challenge. So much that 2 lockdown Crips in jail are doing the Shiggy In My Feelings dance/challenge.
We're gonna end it.
Kiki, we love you. Are you riding? Say you love me, so exciting. 'Cause I want you, and I need you. Hey,
All right, we got.
Whose phone is that? First of all,
I got so many questions. How they get the phone?
whose phone is
How they get a
that?
camera in jail?
How they get the internet?
I'm
How they
sure
get access to Facebook or whatever they up?
Second
That's
question.
true.
That's just extra.
Second question. Of all the dance for Crips to be doing, you doing a Drake Shiggy dance?
Drake is universal.
Second of all, how much time do you have in jail to be doing routines and
They
shit?
got all the time. They got all the time. Hey, either you're dancing, you're working. I mean, you're working out. You messing with somebody.
Yo, I mean,
you're eating. I'd rather them dance. I'd rather them dance.
You know, I actually have a family member of mine who's not watching, who's a Crip. He was in jail one time, and he had some time on his hands, and he decided before going from the judge, he somehow made, handmade some starch, creased his jail suit up and everything.
Wow.
Went to the judge. I was like, since you got too much time on your hands, come see me 2 weeks.
Ooh. Wow.
And on that note, thank you for tuning in to this week's Live in the Corner.
That was terrible.
So come back and see me in 2 weeks. You got too much time on your hands. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure
got
that's
so
exactly
much
what
time.
happened to these guys when the warden
Sorry,
saw
man.
the video
Shit.
that went
He probably
viral.
he probably took years off of that shit. 'Cause that's contraband all over the place.
Yeah.
know?
I mean, only if they find it. The video is just evidence of it, but they got to find it to actually be
that's
contraband.
true. That's
You
true.
know, so hopefully they got rid of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I doubt it.
And like I said, on that note, thank you for tuning in to another week of Live from the Corner. Listen Vision.
Yeah.
Bridget
Thank
Taylor.
you. Thank you.
Red, where can they find you at?
At on Facebook at Louisa Harrell and on Instagram at Lovely Beautiful Mind 30.
Rodrigo, where can people find you and your services at, my man?
Hit up Capital Skunk on Instagram. That's capital like the capital.
Like the
And,
capital.
not like we're gonna capitalize like the capital. The
capital? Okay.
Yeah. So Capital Skunk.
All right,
COL.
and you-
COL. Yeah.
And you can find me at Breezy Taylor. That's BREAZY on Instagram, Twitter. You can find me at breezy.taylor.5 on Facebook. You can find me here every Tuesday, just like you can find Rodrigo and Capital Skunk here every Tuesday. Next week, same bad time, same bad channel, and we will have a different vendor next week. AI, our hearts and prayers go out to my man. We out of here.